Welcome to Haunted Horizons GHOSTCAST with Alison Oborn, Craig Cameron and Keg Allwood from Haunted Horizons.
And just saying Craig isn't here tonight. So we can't, can we? Give me a minute because things go very, very wrong. But I am going to just play a little something for you before we introduce our next guests.
Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave behind and face the truth. No, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Nothing really matters. Woo! Good stuff, boys. It was nice. Did you like it? Go on, rate them a little. Surprise!
So I don't think we had, after we did our rendition, how could we not? How could we not do a rendition on Bohemian Rhapsody? We do it everywhere. So that's how we became friends. You break the ice, sing song together. So I would just like to introduce Ali Beale and Holly Card from Napier Prison in New Zealand. So we're just going to, and if I'm looking over here, just bear with me because what I am doing, because some people might not even know where Napier Prison sits. So I'm going to New Zealand. So people can actually know where, because we have people from all over the world. So it's in the North Island of New Zealand. So I'll just zoom it in a bit. People like to see.
Abby's saying Kia ora.
Kia ora. Oh, well, there you go.
Yay.
Yay. People are making you
Maybe
feel
your house, Holly.
So that's where Napier Prison sits. And where it all began is Keg and me decided that we would go off to Napier Prison. And Ali here was absolutely wonderful. I don't think we got in anywhere else. We tried everywhere. And believe it or not, yes, Ali, it's not easy.
Oh,
and
wow.
the most amazing person who got us in there, allowed us to hire the place and get us in there to investigate. And as always, we don't feel investigations are anything without our hosts, and that's why we always like to have the guides and the hosts with us, because there's a mountain of knowledge if we get anything happening, and you forge friendships that way. So welcome to the show. So how did you go with two wacky ladies coming to you to your premises?
It's Freaky Friday.
It is, yeah.
Got to be on Freaky Friday.
Exactly. What I found as well is that we actually missed most of the investigation because we're too busy sat out the front talking. If you remember, I think it was about 2 hours we were sat talking.
Easily.
We were there
for
4 hours, and two of them, and it was our choice. We just sat there and talked and chowed the fat and swapped stories about jails and all that. We just hit it off really well, and we just love. Yeah, we just got to kind of relax.
One of the coolest visits we've ever had. Yeah, and cool.
Yeah.
So I bet nobody else has had you singing in the hallways.
I think Ali does that all the time, though.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of choice. They don't get choice. If I'm in the kitchen, well, then it's, chuck on the Spotify and it's your top, 1970s and 80s content and Kiwi music. They love it.
Yeah, cool. But playing it on the radio so it sounds professional, that's a little different to like Kagami butchering a song. You two carried it. And I will say, Ali, actually, you do opera, don't you?
I've got a diploma in performing arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting that to great use. Yeah.
Yeah, but we come in.
Well, you are. You're keeping your ghosts entertained, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a bunch of rat bags, so you've got to do something, keep them busy. Yeah.
Good guys. All right. So people are probably wondering a little bit about Napier. So I'm just going to bring some photos. I grabbed an old one off the internet. So, and I do like this one because it shows you what Napier Prison used to look like. And I'll show the updated with the wall in a minute. What year was this taken in? Do you know?
Oh, before I was born.
I would have.
Did they have cameras in those days?
It's from a stone carving, all right? Now, Holly, you're good at numbers. When did the asylum get taken down?
So the asylum ran for about 10 years, and I believe, don't quote me on it, it'll be the 1870s kind of area that would be taken.
Yeah,
So
so see that two-storied building up the hill on the that's actually a high school. So I guess what do you do? It's Hukariri Māori College, so that was there till 1910. I don't know what you did for math, count inmates and asylum people.
Wow. So what are we actually kind of looking at here? Which part is the present jail?
That's the asylum in the front and the prison at the back.
The prison at the back. So
Yeah.
And that's gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's now got 2 private houses on it.
Oh, shame.
Oh, did they have anything happen?
Yeah, some unfortunate deaths in there.
And a lot of not much funding, overcrowding, and eventually just shutting because it wasn't good enough.
Right.
And
Have the houses ever reported any activity?
they're ex-guards, so we don't really bother them. We like to just let them, but they're lovely people, but so far it's on my list of, hey, we should have coffee and bring a K2 meter.
Post box. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
So this is when the wall was built in 1906, but it's much older than that, isn't it? Because I know when I arrived, I looked at that and I went, oh, is this jail only as old as 1906? Because that's the date you see it there, but I'll leave it to you to explain.
So it opened in 1862 and was decommissioned in 1993. And so across the road's the quarry, which they used to get the stone from 1905 to 1975. And so they popped this wall up in 1906, and then they added to it with the sides and the back end over 4 years till 1910.
So
She's so pretty. Oh, Basil!
Oh, he's coming up next. All right.
Can I just interrupt here, Alison? Have you put have you put in the subtitles for a reason?
The subtitles is theirs. So if they're seeing subtitles, they've got it switched on Facebook.
Well, no, because I haven't, and I've got subtitles coming up on mine.
Well, I don't have subtitles.
Mind you, they are from New Zealand, so we might need it.
Maybe Facebook decided. Is anybody else
They
getting
thought, wait a minute, what was that? Oh, I think we'll put subtitles up for these lot.
Because I haven't even been on Facebook, and you don't
Well,
have.
neither have I. I know, it's like really weird.
Facebook has probably done an upgrade. Guys, you can go into settings on the video and you can turn off subtitles. Facebook decides on it if you haven't got it turned off, so it's nothing to do with us.
It's really cool because it actually puts its own words up. So
I know it gets quite entertaining when you watch that. There you go. Rosemary says, "Oh, Facebook automatically generates them. No option on getting rid of them." Well, be entertained, guys.
This should be interesting.
Facebook has done it a lot automatically lately.
Yeah. Vicky Webb says, hello, Ali.
Oh, hey, lady. How's it going?
Oh, hi, Vicky.
And Vicky was over here doing our jail.
Oh, really?
2 years ago, I think it was. Now it was
Mm.
or a year, 2 years, Vicky. So, yeah. All right. So there was one part of the prison actually, as we were going through, because it's very different from the Adelaide jail, isn't it? It's how many prisoners did yours hold?
We're comfy 30 to 35.
Wow.
And really, they were sitting at around 50, 60. And then it just got ridiculous and got up to over 120.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our jail, we've got 11 buildings though, so we had about 400 and something, and that was overcrowded back then.
Well, we're not supposed to be. We were supposed to be like you come and you have you're moving them from the top of the north to the south, bottom of the south, and it would just be a stop overnight, sort of small time. It wasn't supposed to be what it ended up being. And yeah, they really struggled with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, there was a couple of cells, and I was looking back on the video that I did. I didn't take a photo of them, unfortunately. And it was the first 2 cells you took, just for my own curiosity, first 2 cells you took us to. And they were set off on their own. And one of them was padded. I believe they were both padded back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pound.
The pound.
I never got to investigate there. We ran out of time. I thought afterwards, oh my goodness.
It's because these ladies made us talk out the front for 2 hours. That's why.
It's Holly. It's Holly. Holly's such a talker.
It's Ellie. All Ellie.
Do you ever get anything? Did we miss anything? Do you get anything paranormal happening down there?
Yes, actually. I've had the odd occasion where I've heard it bang, like there's been like someone's banged on the wall and there's no one in there. We had somebody came in a year or 2 ago and we're just visiting normally and we're videoing and there was a huge bang. And apparently, I wasn't on that day, which is good because it sounds scary.
That particular day, they had a GoPro and they were filming that room, just looking at it walking in. And on the video, you can even see that the bang comes from the back of the room that they're filming, and you can see there's nothing in the room. Yeah. And we heard it from the office, so we knew there was something going on.
We'll just have to go back, Cag, because we missed that bit.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to do an opening, aren't they? Like an open
like a
bubble.
They're talking about doing a bubble when things settle down. So it's just Australia and New Zealand working together.
You'd have to be lousy all before you come in the country, though.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking tomorrow, because
no.
That could be a problem. But they're going to open up, apparently they're going to open New Zealand and Australia able to go to each other's country before they go worldwide. So, because we can't travel worldwide, we'll just have to come to you. So
Yeah. Just come. We've got really good wineries here.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. We'll make it haunted if we have to.
I'm sure we can get it.
Actually, I'll work on that because there's one, I think, there's 2 in Taradale, which is, close to a prison that we could take you to that. Surely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that sounds really good. That's a plan.
Sponsorship, please. Thank you.
No, that's brilliant. So, and if I look over here and I look distracted, that's because I'm just changing my screen so we can share some more photographs. So I'm not going, not talking to you anymore.
Can I just say we did a live we did a watch party, didn't we, with the long version of the video that Alison put up with you guys in it from Napier Prison, and the amount of comments we had was how lovely you 2 ladies were.
Oh,
we are.
We put them right, so it's all good. But but yeah, there was a lot of comments of how gorgeous you were. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Your friends need to get out more, eh? They're right. They're so right. Yeah.
So I
Our
think
Rosemary's just said, Ali, you're speaking our blood type.
Oh,
Going to wineries. So speaking
Oh,
our blood
right.
type.
Oh, yep.
Like that.
all right. So now you're prisoners. So we'll get onto the little bit of the paranormal a little bit and the darker side of the jail, I guess you would talk about. And we just saw him a second ago, but I'm going to bring him up again. What about this little character? There was a fascinating story about this guy. Now, I'm going to pronounce it the way I do, which is Basil. All right, Basil the cat. So what can you tell us about Basil?
do you want to do this one, Holly?
Sure, because I love Basil.
Yeah.
So,
He was so beautiful.
yeah, so Basil was a cat that turned up as a fully grown kitten in 2002 when we opened as a tourism business. And Basil, the cat, used to hang outside and around an old inmate, his old cell, and his name was Basil. And he was allowed to bring one of his 30 cats from home when he was incarcerated in the Napier Prison for fraud.
Mhm.
And so Basil just turned up and stuck around and has been there ever since. She's a very old girl. But Basil, the inmate, had a burn to his face, which meant his moustache grew black on one side and ginger on the other. And Basil has the same markings, the cat. And we've had several past inmates and past guards and stuff who were there at the time that Basil was alive with his cat and have said, oh, Basil's cat's still here. But that would mean the cat would be 30 to 40 years old, so it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
So it's all a mystery.
it was such a great story. And I think on the video, and I'm just going to say hello to Dubs McDubs because she just said hi. And yes, I do remember you from the Paranormal Quest 12-hour live stream that we took over for 6 hours.
You can't forget that name. It's all good.
So I recognise the name. I hope we didn't take over too much. You had a little incident though, didn't you, Ellie?
When the cat pooped.
Basil, I think we had that on the video. For those who haven't seen, there is a video up of our episode where we were there. It was meant to be a live stream, so it's not professionally done or anything. But Ali does talk a little bit about that. So I've just got rid of Ali. Wrong button. Wrong button. Don't worry about it. There we go. Oh, it's all yours.
So the cat had managed to use inside for a toilet, which is always a pleasure to clean up. And it was really bad. I don't do well with things like that. I'm tough, but oof. Anyway, I was really angry. I'd gone over afterwards, I'd cleaned up, and I just went to town and used very big swear words expletively at the cat for doing the mess. And then I went back to feed her later that night in her room and opened up the door, and it was like right in front of me would have been a person with very strong BO. And I was like, I don't know who that is. And it's come back again. It came back again Boxing Day when we'd been off site for a day. So I don't know if she'd got her food or not. And it was like right in your face. So it's not appreciated. I don't know who it is and I don't like them. They're not cool.
It wouldn't be cool. Wouldn't it be cool if it was the original Basil who's protecting Basil?
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think
that'd be cool.
That's kind of what came into my head when you told me, and I'm not psychic or anything. But wouldn't it have been cool if it was the guy himself?
The Basil. Yeah. But
would jails have cats traditionally? Because I know the Adelaide jail where I obviously operate, traditionally there was always cats in the jail because of the pest problem like rats and mice and vermin problem. So they always had cats, and of course the prisoners would adopt the cats because they have a lot else in life in there. So do you think that could have been what it was? They were just protecting the cat because in their day, do you know if they had cats? I'm probably asking something you may not. I don't know. It was well known for our jail that we did. So have we got a cat?
We definitely had rats.
You had rats. Maybe they just adopted rats instead. So, could we actually have a little cat cemetery? So, with the cats that died. In fact, one of the guards actually hurt. There's a story in our jail that one of the guards actually hurt one of the cats, and the prisoners actually got the round back on that guard because they got quite attached to the animals in there.
Mm.
Some of the prisoners, let's talk about, because you did have executions, didn't you?
Officially 4 hangings.
Officially? Or do you think there was more? Was there any rumours of more? Or
There's a rumour of a 5th person being snuck in and done, and it's not on the books, and we have no idea. Because, records are really difficult to find in New Zealand, and, we rely a lot on papers passed and families to pass on information, and it's still all under Privacy Act, which is unique. But yeah, we've officially hanged 4 men for murder charges. One of them is buried apparently under the main wall near the front door. One may be buried in the graveyard, and at least one was able to be, he was organised to be taken away and buried at a local marae.
okay,
Yeah.
this one I think was the saddest. I think this is the one we did go into. Was it his room? I believe.
Oh, Kiriopa.
Yeah, I wasn't going to try and say his name.
Nah, we gave up with that one. We just
Yeah.
And
we struggled with Kiora, so
I was looking because I'd never really looked at this photograph, and when I was setting up for today, I was kind of bringing the photograph up bigger so we could see it better, the photograph I took. And for the first time, I actually looked into his eyes. And if you can find this, I think it's online. It's on your website, I think.
Yeah.
There is such sadness. That's
He's
the only
also,
way.
he's got a pew
Yeah.
draped over him. And the reason it's draped up so high is that he knew what was going to happen when he was going to be hanged, and he had hidden a weapon on him. And when they brought him in through the main doors, he grabbed it and tried to take his life, and they got it off him, and he had quite a wound. So when the photographer came to take his photograph, he wanted to show him some respect, because this man was what you call a kaumatua, a chief, a really important person in his community. So they draped the pew over him to hide the injury. Yeah.
But the face, the sadness in that face, because he was pardoned. Although he went to the gallows, they've actually deemed that he was actually innocent, didn't they?
Yeah, in 2014.
Which doesn't help him.
Yeah, he was taken. His life was ended in 1872.
Yeah. And what was he charged with? For those who don't know this case, what was he
hunting down a missionary, organising the hanging of that missionary, and either before or after ripping the eyeballs from that man's face and eating them.
Yeah. But what? Why?
So where Kiriopa's land was, in a place called Opotiki, it's further up the North Island from here, and they had a zone that had a safe marae on it, no fortifications. So it's for people who are sick, who are homeless, old people, kiddywinkles. You can go there, you know that they'll be looked after. And Pakeha had moved in, and he really made an effort to get them to all join together as a people. And that's really forward thinking for the 1800s, because it's a bit of a struggle in New Zealand sometimes now. And sneaky, he was out of the area because that made him a policeman, and this missionary knew that that land was worth money, and he wrote a plan, gave it to the local army. They went in at night and hid, and at dawn they went and surrounded the village and slaughtered and took the land. And in the slaughter were Kiriopa's children and family. I would have been livid. There's a Māori word called utu, and it means revenge. It's like revenge, or the other side of it is restorative justice. So it's up to you. If it was your wife and children, you can understand. And he said he was innocent. But another investigation we had with a medium, he said through that medium, well, could you blame me?
Yeah.
And we sort of have to understand those were really weird, strange times. Yeah.
You just can't fathom. Yeah.
We just, as we tell everybody who comes through, that these things happened in our past, and So that's then. Look at it, learn from it, and let's not repeat it. Let's not go running around trying to kill each other because we just don't get time.
I just really, my heart went out to him because I've just never looked into his face before.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Look at his face. It really affects you. It's just such a book. So yeah, so that's
I think that's a story for everybody as well, isn't it? Is to actually learn the story behind people.
Because he's nicknamed the Eye Eater, and that's all people think of him. And it's like, come on, there's more to this.
You see, I see a man who's absolutely lost his family, and when I look into that face, that's what's and you can only imagine it. But and we'll do one more of interest. I'm just bringing him up because I have a photograph of it. There's this gentleman.
But this is a sad one as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they really were sad. At the end of the day, most of them.
Yeah.
They were a product of the time as well, which
we just didn't understand mental health, and you know, they were still locking people up for that made-up thing called female hysteria.
Oh yeah. And doctors had a way of curing that, by the way. Looked into that one. We won't go into any more detail on that.
So your Roland story is, they built him up in the newspapers to be a mass murderer, so that on the day of his hanging, there was so many people that ran out of ticket sales that these people climbed the trees to see in. Yeah. And he wasn't well. I don't know, sort of paranoid, schizophrenic. He's hearing things. He thinks the village is outside his home with torches to burn them down. He's had episodes before, and his wife's always cared for him. And this one night, they're all asleep. He thinks they're all going to be killed. And so the best idea is to donk them all on the head with a bit of wood, and then one at a time slit their throats, sharpen your knife, grab the next one. That's pretty messy and a little bit slightly calculated, to take a knife and take your time to sharpen it and then cut the next one's throat. So, and then he even thought he'd take his own life, thinking, I guess, that they'd all meet up in the next place, wherever that is. And, well, he didn't, he was stuck here in this world, captured and then, trialed and hanged. Yeah, really sad story.
Yeah. Now, I also read in that little board there that he's actually buried. He's one of the few buried in there, so I'll just bring that up. So that is his grave, which I took a photo. I've got a little story about that area.
Maybe. If he's not at that end, he's at the other end.
But he is in that area.
He should still be in that graveyard, yeah.
Okay. Because, I cut a lot out of that video. Although I think I did leave that one in. I'll just bring you all back up again. I had major, as soon as I went out and tried to take a picture of his grave, and I didn't show that in the video, but I was actually trying to take a photograph. This photograph you see there, it took a lot. My camera just started absolutely, every time I put it on the camera, it would switch off again. And it's like my phone never does that. You can put it back on, switch off again. And it's just like that. And I struggled to get that one photograph out there. It was so hard. So have you had cameras and stuff? Have you ever had people reporting cameras before out there, or is it just
well, the whole house, Holly, just soaks up battery power.
Batteries being sucked dry, cameras malfunctioning and turning on and off, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Normal.
Rosemary's just brought up, and you left out the after bit where you fell over.
Yeah, I laughed so hard at that. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Rosemary, for that little bit. That wasn't me.
You have to remember that Napier is a great place for earthquakes. So maybe there was a tremor.
Yeah.
Actually,
Everybody knows here about Alison, the fact that she's fell over numerous times. She's been rescued by a rescue helicopter. They are all into. Can I just say as well, ladies, we've had numerous. Yeah, we've had numerous people saying again how lovely you two are. I'll put them right afterwards, but anyway, they're all just saying how gorgeous you are. So
Just follow our page at facebook.com/Napier Prison, and all donations kindly accepted.
Exactly. I'm just going to bring up the yard where I was having problems as well very quickly, because that's where the gallows used to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that corner. So that's actually just a painted wall now. So, and it's always a surprise to see what my next photo is going to be, guys. Oh, it's a video.
It's a door.
It's a door. It's a door. It's a video. So before we go into the videos, I just 3 little snippets from our investigation that I found really interesting out of that whole thing we did. Going back to the paranormal, because we haven't heard your stories. All right, we've heard about your story with the cat, Ali, but what else have you had happen there?
Go, Holly, go.
What's up with Holly?
Yeah, this happened to me in the video, and I was like, "Which one?"
Just overall, we've been there. We came a year ago, didn't we? So, what experiences have you had in the jail?
Holly, the one when we're standing by the mugshot area and he's right up in your face.
Oh, yes. We were having a staff meeting or a staff break outside, and we were discussing things. Me, Ali, and another staff member were discussing things that we had noticed kind of paranormal wise, because this other staff member was quite new and wanted to chat about it. And we all started talking about different experiences that had happened to us. And I was standing alone, and I could feel like someone's face was this close to me. And I just felt like I wanted to just say to someone, just back off and push them away, but there was no one physically there. And we carried on talking, and I kind of brushed it off. And in the end, I was walking circles around, this little staff meeting we were having, saying, just get away. And Ellie was like, what's going on? I said, something is sitting this close to my face, and it's like I can feel them breathing on me. And I can't get rid of it. And I was moving all over the place, and it just would not go away. And I mean, eventually it wore off, but it was really just like someone was really just in my face, needed to know that they were listening to us discuss what we'd felt from them and whatnot. Yeah, it was really uncomfortable.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had an experience with a child as well, or what felt like a child. I think we touch on that in the video, but obviously
yes,
seen it.
Yes. So the first day I was ever in the prison, we were walking around and doing bits and bobs, and I was walking in this hallway of the prison, and there's a bit of an incline because a lot of the floor is warped by the earthquake that we had in 1931. And I felt something push me forward, and I ended up falling to the floor. But the most significant part of it was that you could feel the thing that pushed me was quite small, probably the small as a child's hand in my back. And where I fell, later we found out where I had been pushed and where I fell was out of the way of a hole that was developing in the floor. And eventually that had to be repaired. So whatever was pushing me, I believe, was keeping me away from falling in the hole.
Oh, that's interesting, because you didn't tell me that bit when we were doing the actual filming. So that's absolutely
okay.
Yeah, I think because we were all trying to catch up with time.
Yeah.
You said you were pushed, but you felt the small hand. And it was interesting because we were doing, I'm not going to show it here, and it's all on this video, so go and have a look at it on our YouTube channel. But I remember when we were doing the ghost box, when we were there and we were out in the hallway, it said touch.
Apart from the little dance.
I knew you were going to say that.
Ghostbox dance.
That's in the,
I knew you were going to say that.
that's in the long
Yeah.
version.
It's my favourite bit.
I'll send you a link to the long version, so because you can't see it, it's private, but I'll send you the whole lot. But yeah, because when we were on the ghost box and I said about a child, it actually came out with the word touch, didn't it?
Mhm.
And that was very relevant because you'd only just told us the story about the fact that you'd felt the little hand touch you in the back. So, and that's the one thing about this prison I never felt. I didn't feel it was bad. I didn't feel there was anything there that was
Lucky.
Okay, I was there on not the right night. I didn't feel threatened.
I
Some of our venues you can go in there and feel fine, and then one night I've only in
But I
two.
suppose we're there quite well, though, aren't we? We only went there the once.
Yeah. So
And
It's a
I'm
bit like our
really
venues, isn't it?
there is something
I'm
a little
really
dark.
mean to our inmates. I'm like, Mum, like you have some manners when there are strangers and guests here, or you can't come out and play because. So, okay, and we're still learning as a team how to interact with paranormal, with investigators and meeting, because there's so many different types of school of thought on how this works. And so it's cool for us. And we just know it's there. We've been going up there for 10 years and we just can't say, oh, that's a coincidence that it bangs on the door when you ask it to, because it does. Just last week, I've got some friends from Manawatu's Paranormal Journeys, Tracy and Chris, and they just popped up just to discuss when they could come on site next time. And we shot around the back of the prison just to check in with everybody because Chris can plug in and chat to the other side. And we stood at the back cage door and listened to people's feet shuffling across the concrete. Like, that's not a normal conversation you have with people. Well, what we do, but yeah, that was really weird. And banging on the walls and acknowledging that I was there. And Mum says you've got to behave yourselves because if I come back on site and it's a mess, God help you all, you know. And so far they like that, so that's good. But we're discovering from all these different investigations that there's probably some really nasty stuff in there.
All right.
how could, people who've been incarcerated for murdering people and children and things like that. So for us as a team, Holly and I have had a big lot of discussion about this in the last year, that our job is to tell the story, to share the history and the information, but in return, whatever lives there has to follow the rules. And if it can't, well, you go sit in the back of your cell and you don't come out until everyone's gone home for the day. But it seems to be working. The vibe is better, and I hope it stays like that because I guess I sort of empath. I'm going to learn in the terms as we go, and so I will feel them step up and have a go physically. I've had swiping at me. I've had hitting and stabbing. Well, they're not allowed to. I'm too pretty.
You can see why we had a great time with these guys, can't you?
But you've got to make it.
Diane, thank you for coming on. Good, she's got to go. Diane actually is from the UK, so you've got people all over the world watching, and America as well.
We've got. I've got a lady here, Margot. I was born in Napier. She lived on Wankawa, is it? By
Onikawa.
School. Yeah.
Nice try there.
Yeah. I didn't even bother because I knew I'd get it wrong. So.
Are you going to pronounce the next word?
So she's been in Adelaide since Henry Hill. I like Henry Hill School because I can cope with that one.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in Adelaide since 1981 and went back in 1987 to wherever that place is to meet her birthday. Haven't got a clue what that was, and not even one word to know. Anyway, yeah.
It must be funny you watching us trying to pronounce all this stuff. So
I struggle with English, and I was born in England, so there's no way I'm going to do any other language. Okay.
Well, with our tours, we get it quite a lot. We help people with that on a daily basis.
But don't worry, we go when we go back. We're from obviously Great Britain. But when we go back to Wales and Ireland, we try.
And Scotland.
We were trying to do the Gaelic, weren't we? And it was yeah.
We were doing Wales. We're doing the Welsh Gaelic in a Welsh prison, and we had the equipment going off because they were not happy with how we were pronouncing things.
Every time
No.
they
weren't happy.
We couldn't pronounce the words properly. I'm just going to before we just going to look at see if there's been any questions, and if we miss your questions, guys, I do apologize if we're ignoring you. I do apologize. Obviously, we're focused on chatting. We don't want to keep interrupting the chat, but I will go back over it at the end and just see what questions. I'm just going to take a break and see if we can find any quick questions. I don't think at the moment. I think everybody's just saying how lovely they are.
They're just so enjoying it, guys.
We love them.
Yes, lovely to meet Ali and Holly.
Aww.
Oh my God! Now I think Bon is actually in New Zealand.
Oh, is she?
From New Zealand.
Go.
So Bon, can you just confirm whether you are in or on?
In or on New Zealand.
Use your words, Cag. Use your words. Use your words. I'm just like,
You've just.
All right. Yeah. So I think she's because I was just looking at her messages.
There's a little delay between us talking and you coming through.
I think she's actually in New Zealand.
But Bon's onto our stuff a lot, which is nice. So there you go.
Lovely to have everybody around.
Oh, was really intrigued by. Oh, here we go. Tay was really intrigued by how executed prisoners, Napier Prison, were. Yeah, we didn't touch on that. Were buried standing up. No rest in the afterlife. I hadn't heard that before. There was a rumour in Adelaide jail that there were, but there weren't. We didn't want to dig that deep, obviously. It's like put down.
It's hard work digging deep.
Yeah, can you imagine that? So, but yours were, weren't they? And the thinking behind that was.
It's a weird school of thought that they just won't be allowed to rest in peace, so you leave them standing. I mean, we tell the children about this on our guided tour with Matron, because strangely push the boundaries on death. You're standing by a graveyard, you might as well. And so I always say to the kids, has anybody been to a funeral or a tangi? A tangi is a Māori funeral. They're massive. They go on for 3 days. There's a lot of food and everybody hugs lots. And it's very smart. And so some people are like, nah. And so I explained to them about in the olden days when you passed, the body lay in the coffin. It was resting. And your spirit, or whatever you believe in, soul, goes into heaven or nirvana or the wairua, which is the Māori word for the other realm. And it's really beautiful. And then so your body can rest. They would lie it down in the coffin and then lower it down into a grave and you were resting. Well, they didn't want to do that to people who'd been naughty, so they were made to stand up forever. But in other countries, it's really normal, right? It's how they bury people.
Well, yeah, there is a rumor that that's how they do it. We didn't here in Adelaide.
Karen's just saying they did. Karen just said they did bury some people like that here in Australia. Do you know whereabouts, Karen?
I believe they did in other states. They did bury them upright, and that's why people think that we've got the same in Adelaide, but we haven't. We were too lazy. We used to put lime, a bag of lime and a bucket of water on the body, and that would break the body down quickly. So there wouldn't even be any bodies left there. They would have dissolved. So there you go. So all right. So any more paranormal tales you want to tell?
Can I ask just one question?
Oh,
guys?
can we stop you?
No, not really. No. Can you tell the stories of when they used to break out and then come back in again after they did shopping? That's my favorite thing.
Break out, like pay for access to get out. Pay for access
to go and get takeaways.
I use KFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about this with my mum tonight because she said when KFC came to Hawke's Bay, it was in Hastings, which is this is very complicated and very strange, but you have Napier and you have Hastings and they live right beside each other, but we won't become amalgamated. It's very technical. Anyway, they're about half an hour's drive away from each other. And it went to Hastings first. And mum said dad and the next door neighbour went, and it was a 4.5 hour wait to get the food and bring it back to us. And then they didn't put KFC in Napier till 1986. So we're a little slow, obviously. I don't know what. But these guys had access, the inmates had access to a key, and you paid money into an official bank account. I would hazard a guess that it was run by a gang. And you paid for the right to get out. You'd have already organised by phone for the car to pick you up. You went out the back door, down a path at the back of the prison to the main road, and the cars were waiting for you there, and you're off to a party or to go. And as this one inmate apparently one night shot out to get KFC, the warden's son heard a noise in the garden near his bedroom and opened the curtains to see this inmate trudging back in with a bucket of KFC. What we found out recently is that there was a trap door in one of the floors and a small tunnel had been dug that went down and straight out to the path behind. And they were going out the trap door, across the road by the ocean as a car park, and they would meet their families there for barbecue.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it. That is brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And someone, I mentioned it on a tour, and someone said, oh, yeah, my auntie used to say Uncle would come home every couple of weekends, or, I'm meeting Uncle tonight in the car park. I was like,
Brilliant.
a little bit more relaxed.
So brilliant. It's just the best one.
But what tops it off is the prison that replaced us, that was built in 1989 and then opened in 93. For the first couple of years, I was told it didn't have actual fencing around it because the guys knew they were there to serve their sentence. But they had to put fencing in because family members would turn up in their cars and toot the horn and grab them and take them out for the weekend.
I love it.
Hawke's Bay, you've got to visit.
We know how to do prisons right in Hawke's Bay.
Oh, that's just fantastic.
That's
All right, so
love it.
Because we've got 15 minutes left. There's one bit I did, and I just want you to and say it's just something I missed out the video because I messaged. I think the longer version has got it in, but the more I listened to the audio, it's when we were there, the more I wonder whether it was a dog. You remember I actually messaged Ali, and we couldn't be sure. Ali said there was a dog on site.
See, I had a thought about this the other day.
Right.
And so we've got, I'm sure that you have similar issues in your country. We have a thing called gangs.
Yeah.
Not my top favourite thing. And one of the gangs that we have in New Zealand is called the Mighty Mongrel Mob. And they're neat. And one of the things they like to do is bark at each other.
Oh.
Yeah. And full moons, love a good full moon, but that's one of their things that they do. So when you said there was barking, we've got a dog on site, right, Holly? But I just wondered if it was the chaps.
That's why I wanted you to listen to this noise, because I wasn't sure. All right. And when you described the little dog that you've got on site, and you said he was a small dog?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we never saw the dog, did we?
No.
Well, there isn't. Where is the dog kept? Because I'm going to tell you something else that I missed out the video, and I missed out the long version as well. Because were you feeding a dog?
Oh, we feed the cat, the dog.
No, I'm not talking about a cat. I'm talking about bigger than a cat. Because, all right,
I've got it is the size of a cat.
I haven't got it to play now, but I might put it up for you. All right, because this is why I questioned the dog. Because when Kagami were walking around on her own, and we got this dog barky. It's very brief. I'm going to play that in a minute. I've got that there, but I've got another bit of footage where Cag actually swings the camera out, and you're at the bottom of the yard where your office little thing where we were chatting.
Yeah.
And behind you looks like a black dog. And we're not talking about I'm not talking about
I haven't seen this, guys.
no, because I took it out because I thought it must have been a dog. It's bigger than a cat, twice the size, if not bigger than that, of a cat. And it's a black thing on the ground that's quite large behind you. You're bending down doing something. And I thought, oh, well, maybe Ali's just feeding a dog. Maybe there was a dog and I just can't remember it.
Oh, great. So now we've got a ghost dog. Cool.
This is really weird because I until I spoke to you just now, I honestly thought you had a dog there. That's why I emailed you.
Sorry,
I'm interested in this then. Okay.
I won't be able to find that video just like that because it's on the main video, but I will put it up later.
Oh, what's that?
Oh,
She's just a tease.
I know.
I am because I didn't know because that's how definite I was that you were feeding a dog.
Whoa.
You were bending over doing something. There was something to the side. You stand up, you walk away, but the dog doesn't. And it's like a black silhouette of a dog.
See, I should learn not to bend over. The first day I ever was on site, my ass got grabbed. So they ain't picky, thankfully.
Rosemary's just said a creeper.
Rosemary, I would say a creeper, but it honestly gave me the impression of a silhouette of a dog behind Ali. And I just assumed she'd done what she did. She'd fed it, she'd watered it, and she was walking away from it.
And that's in the front pound.
I swear to God, it's not the cat because it's twice the size.
We put a post up the other day with a picture of the dog, actually, that lived on site.
So is that in the first yard, just inside the main wall?
You know where we were sitting talking and then we go into that yard? There. We're down the bottom corner and you were bending over doing something. And I assumed you were feeding some dog or other. And then you stood up, walked away, but the dog, it moved, but it didn't follow. And it was bigger than the cat. Twice the size of the cat, if not bigger.
I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
I would say three times the size of the cat.
Down a bit. Hold it there.
What's
Perfect.
that?
That's Finny Boo.
Oh,
Let me
that's
just
tiny.
Yeah, he's about.
Oh, that's not the dog. No way. No way.
That's a beautiful
That's
dog.
the dog that's on site.
No way was that what I saw.
Because we never saw the dog the whole time we were there.
No, well,
No, he lives in a private area.
Yeah.
Well, I just assumed that I just hadn't seen. I just couldn't remember. You know what? How you get old and your brain's a little bit. And I said to Kang,
I wouldn't know yet. No.
All right,
Alison's a lot older than us.
let me play the barking because you would know that dog's bark.
Okay.
All right. So let me just bring it up. Hopefully you can hear it on here. There. All right.
No.
So that's not him.
That could be fun because at the end of that corridor is remand. That's one of our most haunted pain in the butt places in town. And Finn's yard runs along the side of that on the outside. And so he stands at the end and sometimes barks. But Holly, over to you.
But was it a singular noise?
It was
like that.
It was like a noise that went into each other.
Yeah, because I'm thinking where you are in the prison, if it was Finn on the other side barking, it would, one, carry on for ages because he was a determined young chap.
That was it all night.
No, if it was Finn,
we
he would have gone for 5 to 10 minutes.
All right, we had one other bark as well once, like a one-off bark, and that was it. And it was a deeper bark. It
Because
wasn't.
little dogs do tend to bark more, don't they? They don't. It's not just one bark.
And he does. He does. Yeah.
How
And
old
believe-
is it, by the way? Bob wants to know how old
There-
he is.
Oh, how old is Finney?
8 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
He's
I
mature.
love you guys. Cool.
It's not my dog. I just get cuddles.
So does he bark like that? That it was a deeper thing. I don't know. That's why I didn't want to put anything in there I wasn't sure of.
Trying to remember, were Mum and Dad home that night, Holly?
Yeah, I think they were.
Because when he's by himself, he's quiet.
Hmm.
His,
I can't remember hearing the dog all night.
Sound like Finn.
And I'm sure I would have tagged it as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I never heard
Yeah,
the
no.
dog the whole night.
It's probably just gang members.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to now. You've got me intrigued on that dark thing.
You know, the main area where we did the investigation in that large space where all the corridors meet up, that's in their side of the territory.
So that was the barky side from the gang.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
The
should-
ones that like the ladies.
I've got it in the long version.
Ooh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a link to the long version
Cool.
because you can't access it because it was for the Patreons, the long version. So I'll send you two guys the long version so you can watch the whole hour. It's in there. The shadow isn't, but I might put that up anyway so you can have a look at it because I missed
Cool.
that out. That's how I wasn't bothered that I thought. All right, next. Keep talking, Keg, while I find the next one.
Oh, sorry. Are you asking me now? What
Why
the?
not?
Such a slave driver.
No.
Oh, I tell you, you guys haven't got a clue. I wouldn't mind.
I
She's
have
my
a
best
clue. I
friend.
have a clue. I work for Ellie.
Oh, are all alleys the same?
Ali, you and me are the same. Mate,
Oh.
Hey, Holly and I.
Wrong.
Holly, high five. High five, Ali. Do you know this lady here?
Yeah.
She sacked me.
I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
She's like,
interesting.
Oh,
That's really interesting because Ellie says to me on a daily basis, "No, you're
you're
not."
fired. You're fired. You're fired.
I was always told that, but she did actually literally sack me 6 weeks ago. Every single day I get sacked at least, well, how many times? I don't know. And you ask our guests, they will say the same thing.
Yep.
I'm
We're
always,
exactly the
always.
same.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
always
Yeah,
you can't sack me, I quit.
yeah, exactly.
I get all the time. You can't say me.
And then she's supposedly my best friend. Yeah, look, see, Abby said she sacked her best friend, guys. There we are. And then Tay says, can get sacked a lot.
Oh.
I know. You have to do it though, don't you, Ali? It's like
Bitch.
Yes, you've got to be
Got
strong
to.
and lead.
a strong leader.
Yep.
Get them in the
Putting our
I
lives on the line.
I feel for you, Holly. Love you, darling.
and that's why the two Alis are in charge.
Yep.
Us two together.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's even down to like blondes versus brunettes. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
you see?
For now.
There's something in that brown eyes as
oh
well.
yeah.
Actually, Ashley just said I got sacked for trashing equipment. Maybe.
Of course, they haven't seen that bit where I trash my own on the video, but there you go.
No, that's true.
I had put the ball on the top. Well, that didn't work.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true. Actually, Rosemary just said, but it's worked to your advantage. Now, what it happened was I went to the local pizza shop to get tea for my family for a change. We don't normally have takeaways. And we were chatting and they said, how are you going during all this virus thing? And I went, oh, well, I have to say I haven't worked a few weeks now because my best friend sacked me. Okay. I actually got a free 1.25 litre drink of Coke because of that, because they felt sorry for me. I was like, score!
Take notes. Take notes, people.
Everybody's been trying it now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Notes.
You heard it live, ladies and gentlemen. We've got no jobs. We need more fizzy drink.
Exactly, we do.
And more stuff to put with the fizzy drinks.
Oh dear.
All right, let's play this EVP. Hopefully you can hear it. I forgot which one this is actually. Oh, this is the one. This is, sorry, I get excited. Again, this one is on the video, and these girls hopefully have watched it since it's their place. But it didn't pick up on the video camera, which was very close to the audio, and it only picked up on the audio recorder. That's the weirdest thing, that it's on the video but not on the audio camera, on the audio recorder. And that's, they both should have picked it up. They were almost next to each other. So
you do too. It's not really taking the mickey or anything. So if you like to have fun, hopefully you do too. It's not really taking the mickey or anything. So if you like to have fun, hopefully you do too. It's not really taking the mickey or anything. It's not really taking the mickey or anything.
but there's nothing on the video. It's obviously harder for people to hear on StreamYard when I'm doing it like this, but definitely go and have a look at this video on Napier, because we had two devices next to each other.
I hate that corridor.
Yeah, I loved it.
That corridor.
You can just about have it.
Anywhere that's creepy and again stuff I love. So yeah, that was an unusual one. It was. And the other one, I don't know if you remember this one, because we're actually just about out of time. So I'm going to play this last one here. And this one was the ghost box. I don't know if you girls remember, but we were listening to the ghost box. You had all the usual radio, you had male voices, you had female voices, and suddenly out of the blue, we had a child's voice. And when you slow the child's voice down, I won't tell you what it said, but you remember that one? It was really odd to come out the radio. Could just be radio. The ghost box is just a broken radio, but it was such an unusual one. So
I feel a bit rude, sort of not knowing who you are. I'm just kind of talking to somebody, and it'd be so much easier if I knew your name.
Sorry, just laughing at my face there. I didn't pick up on that on the video I watched.
Peg's camera angles, which are
Yeah, can I just apologise to you ladies? I have a thing about exactly. I have a thing. Yeah. I have a thing about just holding the camera, and it always happens to be just boob level. I'm actually renowned for that. So
she doesn't look at the screen. She just kind of thinks she's pointing in the right direction. So
yeah, so I do
So
apologise.
according to our inmates, it was a score, so that's okay.
we had that as well, didn't we? It's like when we were talking about the angles, and it said score.
Oh, that was so funny.
I thought that one was probably the weirdest one we got on the ghost box. It was just, it was such a child coming out of the blue, talking about dead, and it was just, So unfortunately, we only got about 2 hours investigating. That was our fault, because we loved talking. We loved talking to her.
Yeah, but that means we can go back
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Back.
and do a winery beforehand, so even better.
We have fun.
We need a sober driver.
Can we hire one? I'll pay.
Yeah, we'll find one.
We'll find one.
We'll find
Hawke's
one.
Bay has a lot of amazing tour guides and ways to help you do that.
Oh, even better. I'm sure they'll go back afterwards. No, it was such an amazing time. Now, what plans? Obviously, people can visit. Might as well talk about how they find you when all this settles down. The world is topsy turvy at the moment, but hopefully it's not going to be forever. when everything settles a little bit and tourism opens for Australia, coming over to you lot, what sort of things are you planning to have set in place? Are the tours coming back? As in, you've got a horror thing, haven't you?
Oh, we do lots of crazy stuff. So
exactly. Is it all coming back, or are you going to be just bringing back certain points of it, or
well,
do you have any ideas? That
we find out on Monday if we're heading into level 2, ladies and gentlemen, which means
Yay!
yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. And we don't know how, obviously that'll be coming in phases. And so some of our things, because, it's going to be limiting groups of people and your contact and so we probably won't do our Dead Hill Scare show for quite a while. So that one, we load up the cells and hallways with a few actors covered in fake blood, and usually we let people go through and then we leave out and get them. It's very good for you. It's very relaxing.
Holly, have you got your little thing there?
Oh, do your thing, Holly. Do your thing.
Do you think, Holly?
Can I just say, I cannot do those sort of things. Oh my God. I have done those sort of things with Alison and I cannot do them. Put me in a haunted location and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Put me in anything like that with people dressed up, I cannot do.
I see. I work at the front. It's where the lights are, and Holly works in the dark where the lights aren't. It's easy.
Alison has me work in the dark.
That would be the same with me, exactly.
So at some stage, I don't know how we'll go for events and that, because last year we had heaps of events for Christmas, and oh my gosh, Christmas was amazing, Holly? We were pulling amazing 50-hour weeks with all these events and people coming in, and so we won't be doing that this year. And our escape rooms, Holly, you run the escape rooms. That's your baby.
Yep.
But
So
we'll be tricky.
Yeah. So we're working on at the moment how to work with the new normal, I guess you could say, until we can go back to what it was.
Yeah. So did you do ghost tours, or was it just the investigations?
So we used to have an audio tour that had ghost stories on it, and we've just updated it and re-recorded it. So that'll be available once we open, ladies and gentlemen. You can do that in the daytime when it's not so scary. Or maybe we do it in the evening and I wait at the office for you. So that's really cool. Yeah. And it's cool. It's got stories from backpackers and a couple of recounts of some investigations that happened and just things that happened to staff when they were on site. Yeah, so it's a really cool audio tour. So we should be able to do audio tours and guided tours for a while. It's just limiting the numbers, delousing everybody as they come in the door, branding them, and continuing to be the new awesome normal.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard future, isn't it, for tourism?
It's weird.
Yeah. And I gather, like a lot of old historical sites, you depend on the tourism to bring all this in, and
winter is our stink season. Like it really sucks in winter to get people to come in. So we're sort of like, come on, wrap up and get out of your house now, and come to a haunted prison. Yeah,
you see, the other way. We used to have our busiest season in winter. Everybody loved it. Dark
Australians, you're special. Yeah. But we love you. We love you.
Oh dear. That's so funny.
But yeah, we're hoping for a normal something in a couple of weeks to start, I've always said, bring your mother-in-law in, chuck her in the cell, go for a walk, do the tour, you'll be fine.
Just sit there with the padding.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you can see why we love these two ladies.
They're brilliant. I love them. All right, we better sign off. We've been on for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Who would have thought?
Wow.
But definitely look these ladies up. And when the world gets back to some sort of normality, definitely go to Napier Prison, even if it's during the day, nighttime,
Hawke's
whatever.
Bay, mate. Hawke's Bay is your one-stop shop for a vacation. There's things to do. Like some people get on bicycles and ride around. 2 wineries, actually.
Well, that would solve the car driving problem, wouldn't it?
Do you know what? You could plan to put your wedding in my prison because I've only had one wedding. It's time for another one. Hook us up, you know. Come on over. Don't be scared. Kiwis are almost normal. Don't judge them by Holly. Don't judge them by Holly.
Love it. All right, we're going to sign off now, guys. So definitely down here, well, I'm pointing at Ali at the moment, but below Ali and Holly can point to the little bits that are going through there. All right, go look them up. Go give them a like on Facebook. Do you have a YouTube channel, guys?
Oh, do we?
I don't know. Do you?
Maybe.
Oh,
I'm not sure. Don't ask me about social media. I still have to learn the TikTok thing.
Maybe you should.
I'm very old.
You're going to have to teach me TikTok. I've been avoiding that.
People are loving you guys. Thank you for the laughs. We just love them. Ladies, giggles, learnt a lot of things. So very funny, ladies. Thank you, ladies. What a great laugh. And it goes on and on and on. A hilarious laugh. So well done, guys.
Sign off, you guys, from them. You two can stay because we're just going to end the broadcast. We carry on privately without these guys. All right. Stay safe. Keep washing those hands and look forward to the world getting back to normal, I guess, so we can all go investigating. So, all right. Catch you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Kakite.